Hey everybody, how you doing? Today we're going to start pulling the engine out of the Firebird. It's time to take the 6-cylinder out and stick the 403 in it. So follow along while we get it done. I'm picking away at pulling the motor out of the Firebird. So if I drain the coolant into this bucket down here, this is that Evans coolant, so I try to reuse it because it's mucho expensivo. And nothing wrong with it. I mean, as long as you don't get it filthy or get debris in it, it's fine. I pulled the white pipe down. It's over there somewhere in the corner. Unbolted the converter. I drained the transmission fluid because I have to pull the pan down and pull the valve body down. This thing shifts violently hard on the 1-2 shift. When I put it together, there's a check ball you can leave out of the valve body. If you read the CK Performance valve body kit, it tells you on a low horsepower car or in a car with a really high stall converter, you can leave out the center of the 3 check balls in the valve body to make it shift really hard. So I figured it's a low horsepower car. I want it to shift hard. It's 6 cylinders, doesn't have that much torque. What's the harm, right? I mean, I haven't broken anything yet, but with V8 it probably will, and it shifts hard. I didn't think I ever would say in my life the transmission shifts too hard, because I like transmissions to shift as hard as possible. This shifts hard. It's just like annoyingly hard. So I'm gonna put that center check ball back in. I'll take some video of that when I do it, but it shifts way too hard. And like I said, I'm gonna break something with the V8. I'm pretty sure I will. So the white pipe's down, motor oil is drained, motor mount bolts are off, torque converter bolts are out. There isn't a whole lot more to do under here, really. I mean, I started taking bell housing bolts out. The glory of the 6-cylinder is it's so easy to work on. There's tons of room, not a lot of stuff. So I think, I'm not positive, I think I talked about these when I put the motor in originally. These are 403 Trans Am engine mounts, the brackets rather on the block. They almost fit the 6-cylinder. They were real close. And these are the original frame mounts I used for the 403 because this is a 79 Firebird subframe. It's set up for a multitude of engines. These originally came with 403s and 400 Pontiacs and 301s and V6 Buick, etc., etc. So you could put a ton of different shit in it. So when I put this in, I just had to drill the holes where they had to go for the 6-cylinder to get it to sit where I wanted with the transmission and to sit at the right level. So all I gotta do is take this motor out, unbolt the motor mounts from the frame, put them back in the Oldsmobile holes, and go on my merry way. The 403 should drop right in where the 455 holes was in here earlier. So let me keep on working and we'll make some video of it. Drain, drain, drain. I hate doing training work. It's just a friggin' mess. All right, I took my ATF bath and I have the valve body down. I have the CK. It's not in the manual, actually. It's in the shift kit instructions. This is the recalibration kit. One of the many things I've accumulated over the years between 4 hours. Here's the manual. I don't believe he talks about it in the manual. It's kind of small print. I don't have my reading glasses on. I don't have all day to look for it. He shows the valve body. He shows the 3 check ball locations. Doesn't tell you anything about them, I don't think. It just says put them in. In this shift kit, it says to install 3 check balls at the locations shown. That's there, there, and there, there, and there, which is there, there, and there. He says right here, if the vehicle has over 500 horsepower or a torque converter with about 3,200 RPM stall speed, you can omit the center or middle check ball. Well, I don't have over 500 horsepower, but I figured, I want to shift hard. Doesn't have a high stall converter. It says it'll give you the firmest 1-2 upshift. Do not omit the check ball, big letters. With a low RPM converter or harsh 1-2 upshifts will result. For once, they're right. These guys are usually very conservative. They tell you how, take out this check ball, it'll shift like a semi, just hit you in the ass, and it's like, yeah, it shifts okay. This time, he wasn't kidding. It's a harsh 1-2 upshift, and like I said, it's gonna break something eventually, I think. So anyway, I'm gonna drop that check ball in, clean this thing up, throw it back together again. The only thing I might do is I don't know if I blocked out the line bias valve. I gotta check and see. That's a common trick in these things. So I'll check that. If it's blocked, I'll leave it alone. If it's not blocked, I'll probably block it. And I'm sure that'll be the thing I do later on. I go, you shouldn't have fucked with this thing. If you have to find that, leave it alone. But hey, that's me one fuck up in everything I do. So, all right, so that's that. Let me put it back together again. And you're not gonna see the result for a while because I still gotta get this motor out and put the new one in. And it's still sitting here on the stand behind the Camaro. So I'm on it, but this was a necessary cog in the wheel to get there, so. One last video before the pan goes on. Everything's bolted up, everything's double checked, everything's plugged in. we are ready to go. So hopefully when I get the motor in and I drive this thing, the transmission will shift. Still hard, but less hard on the 1.2, and nothing else will have arisen. I didn't end up changing the line bias valve spring because it already had been changed. I didn't realize it. I compared it to a stock one and it's a lot stiffer. So I'm gonna leave well enough alone. So thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Just about ready to pull the motor out. Transmission's unbolted, motor mounts are unbolted. I'm gonna take off that fuel line right there that's real close to my Hydro Boost master cylinder. That'll give me a little bit of room to squeak it out. Everything else is unhooked. I made this bracket this morning. Well, I finished it this morning, I started yesterday. There's really no good place to grab these 6 cylinders, so I made this bracket that bolts onto the block. It's just scrap steel and a piece of 1-inch square tubing. So it bolts on the block. There's a piece of 1-inch square tubing that bridges them, and then my engine chain connects to that. And there was a bracket I had made when I put the motor in that bolts to the bell housing. One of the bell housing bolts, and it bolts to, I actually drilled and tapped the engine dowel that goes in that hole right down there, that bottom hole. Like I said, there's no way to grab this thing, no good place to grab it. So that should suffice. I mean, we'll find out. Hopefully it won't break off and smash the front end of my car and destroy the oil pan, but it went in the car, it should come out of the car. So wish me luck. Well, today is the day the engine's coming out. I have my engine sling hooked up to a couple of custom brackets I made. This one bolts to the block over there. This one bolts to the bell housing over there. Hopefully this thing comes out smooth as silk, and next video I show you is it lying on the floor and me relaxing in victory. Stay tuned. Houston, we have separation. My brackets didn't snap yet. That's good news. So let's pull this sucker out the rest of the way. Well, it worked. It came out easy. I still have all my toes, nothing broke. Piece of cake. I did something new this time. I took the front wheels off. I put blocks of wood under the spindles, control arms, to get the car as low as I can. So to pick the motor up, it only has to go so high and then it comes right out. So that definitely helped. It came out way easier. Now I have to take these motor mounts off the frame, put them in the Oldsmobile spot, give it a quick wipe down, and then drop the 403 in. I made a little bracket, if you can see it, just a piece of tubing to hold the 204-hour tranny up, rather than put a floor jack under it with blocks of wood or whatever. So hopefully that will serve me well when I go to put it back in. I don't know, it looks like it fell down quite a bit in the tunnel, so I'll probably still gotta jack it up, but probably not that far. But hey, you try things, that's how it goes. So, all right, thanks for joining me, and let's see about getting this 403 in this guy and having a V8 powered again, and then getting this over to my friend Dave to do what he will with it. Talk to you later. I just wanted to record this because I thought it was funny. It's always nice when I leave myself little notes. I don't know if you can read it very well, but there's a couple of arrows up there, and they're pointing to 2 bolt holes. And you can barely see it, but it says Olds. It's just me telling myself those are the 2 upper holes of the Olds motor mounts. There's another note on this side too. I just thought it was funny.